Welcome back to This Week in Agribusiness. Max, it's that time of the show we get to learn a little bit more about American agriculture.
Charlie's going to take us on a tour on Ag States of America. We go to a state that gives us peppermint and pears and other things. Here's Charlie checking in this week.
The United States of America can be very different from one state to another, but one thing every state has in common is agriculture.
Hey everybody, I'm Charlie Behrens and welcome to the Agricultural States of America. We're going to test your knowledge about the agriculture of different states and hopefully give you a bit of appreciation for all the great things that farmers are producing across America. All right, pop quiz. Which state has the deepest lake in the country and has the only state flag with different designs on both sides? No idea? All right, here's a hint. Nothing yet? How about this? For those of you who guessed Oregon, congratulations, you can read. But Oregon doesn't just have a deep lake, it has it all. The Pacific coastline, mountain ranges, valleys, plateaus, semi-arid shrublands, and deserts as high as a Portland hipster. It's also one of the few U.S. states with volcanoes. In fact, 5 of them are still active, just to keep you on the toes of your Nikes. Now, all these geographies make up different agricultural regions with their own climates and soils, allowing the state's farmers to produce a wide variety of products. It's like the Costco of agriculture. The top products are greenhouse and nursery plants. In fact, Oregon is a top 3 nursery producing state. They export ornamental plants, shrubs, shade trees, and perennials throughout the U.S. So the next time you're watering your lilacs, you can thank the great state of Oregon. The second biggest agricultural product in Oregon is cattle, followed by hay, dairy, grass seed, wheat, potatoes, pears, and wine grapes. Speaking of wine, Oregon is considered to have a world-class wine region and is regarded as one of the premier Pinot-producing regions in the world. The state is also home to more than 700 wineries and more than 1,000 vineyards that grow 72 grape varieties, making them the 3rd wine grape producing state in the nation. Also, did you know that the Oregon state flower is the Oregon grape, which has absolutely nothing to do with wine grapes other than it, contains the word grape. Beyond the state flower, Oregon is also #1 for several plants, including potted forest azaleas, hazelnuts, crimson clover, orchard grass seed, fescue, ryegrass, red and white clover, Dungeness crabs, Christmas trees, rhubarb, and peppermint. That's a lot of plants. The Northwest region is actually the perfect climate for cherry orchards, with the top 3 cherry producing states being California, Washington, and you guessed it, Oregon. In the early 1900s, cherries couldn't get shipped to the East Coast fast enough to arrive fresh, and the available methods for preserving them made them undesirable. But our pal Ernest H. Wiegand was a horticulturist from Oregon State, and he developed a preservation method that led to the modern maraschino cherry. So the next time you're knocking back a Shirley Temple, remember to give a cheers to old Ernie. Today, the 2 largest maraschino cherry producers in the U.S. are in Oregon and Washington, and Ernie's preservation method is still the standard practice. All right, time for a fun fact. Did you know that cherry orchards use helicopters to dry growing cherries after it rains? Which is the most James Bond way of drying cherries I've ever heard. Turns out that water can collect on the stem and cause the cherry to split, and the coolest way to dry them is with a helicopter. Now before I go, I know you're all dying to know, what is Oregon's official state fruit? It's a pear. Oregon is #2 in the nation for pear production, second only to Washington. And together, these states produce about 84% of the nation's fresh pear crop. So you could say Oregon and Washington make quite a pair. I've also heard that Pinot Noir and pears make a great pairing.
Come on!
I know, it's bad. I'm done. Actually, one more. Oregon and Washington are 2 pears in a pod. All right, now I'll see myself out. That's all the time we have for this week, but you can always go to pivotbio.com/agstates and click on the show icon to explore more about agriculture of your favorite states and test your knowledge to win great prizes and more. We'll see you on the next Agricultural States of America.
And in that state of Oregon, they produce a lot of cover crops too. Risa DeMacy comes to mind. Risa is a past president of the American Seed Trade Association. She's from Oregon. The president of the Oregon Farm Bureau is a woman, Angie Bailey. And the immediate past director of agriculture of that state,
Alexis Taylor is now serving as USDA's chief ag negotiator. My goodness, Max, Oregon is in the business of exporting expertise in agriculture, aren't they?
Absolutely, exporting expertise. I like that. We try to do that each week, by the way. And we'll do it again next week in Ag States of America. You can get more. You can see some of these episodes in review if you care to go to pipitbio.com/agstates and see more of what Charlie has to say there. And then join us next week for the next episode, New Mexico.
Ooh, that will be interesting, folks.